Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So in the previous class, okay, in the previous class we were discussing this particular class C amplifier. Okay, so discussing class C amplifier, right? And we have seen that the reason we go for class C amplifier is because it gives very high efficiency. Okay, right? And we have seen that the expression for efficiency is, you know, efficiency is output AC power by input power. Okay, right? Or output AC power. If input DC power is predominant, we will take output AC by input DC. Okay, the approximate relation is output AC by input DC, right? The exact relation is output AC by, okay, the entire input power, right? Anyway, so what we will consider here is we will consider the output AC power, and in the previous class we discussed that it is VCC square by 2 RL, and then the input power, okay, the input power, how can we get the input power, right? It is like this. Okay, so now you have, okay, now you have say 100 rupees, right? In travel you lost 10 rupees. Okay, so when you started your, okay, journey, how much amount you had? Anybody? Okay, suppose now you just traveled from somewhere and you came here. Okay, let us take like this, and now you have 100 rupees with you. In travel you already lost 10 rupees. So before traveling, how much amount you had? Students, these simple logics are important. They give formulae. Okay, you need not by heart. You can use this simple formula and simple logic and get the formula. Anybody please answer? Yes, students, I'm telling, okay, person X traveled and, okay, went somewhere, right? And the travel charges are 10 rupees. After travel, he has only 100 rupees with him. So before travel, how much he had? Yes, students, please answer. Okay, so you need to consider, right? Before travel means the 10 rupees that he lost, he has it now. Okay, so before travel will be the amount that he now has plus the amount lost in travel. So he will have 110 rupees. Okay, right? So similar logic, output power we have P out. Okay, power lost we got PD average. So it is like the input to the journey. While he was input to the journey, he had 110 rupees. How did we do that? 100 plus 10. Likewise, now the input power, you can consider it as the output power plus power lost. Okay, it is like analogous to the, okay, it is analogous to the amount he has now, which is the output, and plus the 10 rupees lost in travel, that will give the total amount he had, okay, when he was entering or input to the travel, right? Okay, so similar logic, what we will do, the total power supplied we will consider it as output power plus, okay, the output power plus the power lost, which is nothing but the PD average. So total power is P out plus PD average. This also we have seen in the previous class. So the efficiency will be, okay, efficiency will be the output power, right? You know, the output power, we have taken only the AC. So P out by P total will be the efficiency. P out is this one, P total is P out plus PD average. Okay, efficiency. Now we know always, see, all this we have already discussed in the previous class. Okay, so anyway, we know always we want maximum efficiency, isn't it? Okay, you're writing exam, you want, suppose somebody will ask you, you want less marks or you want more marks? You will say yes, definitely everybody want more marks, right? You join job somewhere, right? You want less salary, you want high salary, everybody wants high salary. Likewise, efficiency. For an amplifier, we want the efficiency to be very high. Okay, so how can we achieve high efficiency here is, for the case when the P out is much greater than the PD average. Okay, right? For this case, we can neglect the PD average in the denominator. Then P out by P out, we will get 1. Okay, in percentage, it is 100%. Okay, right? So it can give 100% efficiency if we can minimize the power lost in dissipation. Okay, right? So this is about the class C amplifier, which we have discussed in previous class. Okay, I want you to think and answer in which case the power dissipation will be more, when we are dealing with small signals or large signals. Anybody please answer? Very good, large signal. Okay, right? Power dissipation will be more when we are dealing with a large signal, right? Hence, we will consider the concept of, okay, the thermal analogy of power transistor. Okay, we will consider. See, when we discussed unit 1, unit 2, so on, we never talked about this particular concept. Okay, now we are talking because we are dealing with larger signals. Okay, large voltage, large current, large power. Okay, so the power dissipation is in the form of heat. Okay, the power dissipation is in the form of heat. Okay, right? And that is the reason we are discussing this particular, okay, topic. Now, just let us discuss some very basic. Okay, right? This is well established that the power dissipation in a transistor is in the form of heat. Okay, now tell me which case. Okay, now transistor, what happens? We have junction, right? Okay, if we have power dissipation, the junction gets heated up. That is what it means, power dissipated in the form of heat. Okay, what happens? We have junction, emitter base junction, okay, collector base junction, right? At the collector base junction, we are dealing with large voltage and large current when we are considering the large signal amplifiers. Okay, so what happens there is, right, we have to consider the power dissipation. Okay, now for that we need to consider the junction temperature. Okay, right? Now tell me which case the temperature rise at the junction will be more. Case 1, when power dissipation is more. Case 2, when power dissipation is less. Please answer. Students, okay, so obviously you can understand that when power dissipation is in the form of heat, power dissipation is in the form of heat means when power dissipation is more, the junction temperature is also high. Okay, right? Now let us take some very basic examples. Okay, there is a hot body. Let us take, there is a hot body, there is a cold body, when you join these two bodies together, the heat transfer will take place from which body to which body? Anybody please answer? I am taking a hot body. Okay, let us take a hot body and a cold body. Okay, join these two together. The heat transfer takes place from which body to which body? Please answer. Very important. Yes.
Hot to cold.
Hot to cold. See, again, these simple logics will make up our concept. Okay. So, the heat transfer will take place from the hot body to the cold body. Okay, fine. Now, let us take another case, right? Say, you are putting a pan on the stove. Okay, you are putting a pan on the stove, right? Now, before you heat the pan, okay, can we say the pan temperature and the ambient or the atmosphere temperature are the same? Okay, yes or no? Can you say that? We can say that the temperatures are the same, right? Now, when we heat the pan, okay, now when we heat the pan, what happens? Right? The temperature of the pan now goes higher than the surrounding temperature. Okay. Suppose you are in your kitchen, the kitchen temperature, right? Compared to your kitchen, say it is 27 degrees, right? Now, because you are heating the pan temperature goes much higher than your kitchen temperature. Okay. So now what I am trying to say is the reference is the surrounding temperature. Okay. The reference, if you are not giving any heat to the pan, the temperature of the pan and the surrounding, the other word for surrounding that we use here is ambient. Okay. Ambient temperature, right? So the pan temperature and the ambient temperature are the same when we don't heat the pan. Okay. But when we heat the pan, the temperature rises above the ambient temperature. Likewise, what happens in a transistor is, because of the flow of charge carriers through the transistor, okay, right, we have voltages and currents, okay, we have heat generated, right, there is a power lost, heat is generated, okay, the power dissipated in the form of heat. So now this case is analogous to, it is like you are electronically heating your transistor. Okay, so that is the reason the analogy that I gave, the pan and the kitchen, is somewhat close to this. Okay, now so I want the exact relation. The power dissipation is in the form of heat. Okay, so I will give you three options. The power dissipation, I will call it as PD. Okay, should I take power dissipation and then, okay, transistor junction temperature, I will call it as Tj. So the power dissipation, will it be proportional to Tj or Tj minus Ta? Which one? Okay, I will give you only two options. The power dissipation, will it be proportional to the, okay, Tj or Tj minus Ta? Anybody gets an answer? I have told you that we need to take the ambient temperature as reference. Okay. So suppose we have not connected any supply. Okay. There is no power dissipated by the transistor. So does the transistor temperature is 0? No, it is at room temperature. isn't it? So now tell me, when we connect supply, when the transistor starts to dissipate the power dissipation PD, will it be proportional to junction temperature or junction temperature minus surrounding temperature? Which one we should consider?
Junction temperature minus surrounding.
Very good, correct answer. Okay, so that is why we have here PD, power dissipation. Okay, power dissipation is proportional to junction temperature minus the surrounding temperature. What it means is, if power dissipation is 0, then the junction temperature is equal to the ambient temperature, isn't it? We didn't connect anything to the transistor, so the transistor is at room temperature, right? Now, when we connect it in a circuit, there is power dissipation, the junction temperature is rising above TA. Okay, so that is the reason we have this relation, power dissipation is directly proportional to Tj minus Ta. Okay, right? Now we can add a proportionality constant and we can say Tj minus Ta is equal to theta. Theta is a proportionality constant. Okay, theta is a proportionality constant. So just now we have discussed power dissipation is proportional to junction temperature minus surrounding temperature, because the temperature is rising from the surrounding temperature. The junction temperature is rising from the ambient temperature. It is not rising from 0. Okay, the initial temperature of the transistor when we don't connect, it is not 0, it is Ta. Okay, so that is the reason power dissipation is proportional to Tj minus Ta. Okay, then we are adding a proportionality, we are removing the proportional symbol, we are putting equal to, and we are adding a proportionality, okay, constant theta, right? So what will this theta be? Theta will be Tj minus Ta by Pd. Just cross multiply the Pd on the other side. Theta will be Tj minus Ta by Pd. Okay, now this particular theta is called as thermal resistance. Okay, this particular theta is called as thermal resistance. We have discussed theta in terms of the transistor junction. Okay, we discussed this in terms of the transistor. General definition for theta will be T2 minus T1 by Pd. Okay, we have taken an example and we got theta. Now we are generalizing it, right? We are generalizing, so we can take some T2 T1 Pd. Okay, so general expression for theta is T2 minus T1 by Pd, right? So what will be the unit of theta? What will be the unit of theta? Temperature by power. Okay, you know temperature, degree centigrade, power is watt. Okay, so degree centigrade by watt, right? So that is the unit of theta. Okay, and what is the reason for the power dissipation? It is, I told you, the power at the collector junction is predominant. Base voltage, base current is very small. Okay, collector voltage, collector current is very large compared to base voltage and base current. So obviously the power dissipation at the collector junction is very large. And what is power dissipation? The collector voltage multiplied by collector current will give the junction, will give the power dissipated at the collector junction. Okay, now actually what is happening? You are connecting power transistor. Okay, you are taking a power transistor and we are connecting it in a power amplifier or large signal amplifier. What is happening is the transistor is getting heated up. Okay, right? Now it is like this. the transistor is getting heated up. If we can throw away the heat to the surroundings, then the functionality will, okay, be intact. If we are not able to throw away the heat to the surrounding, what happens? Okay, so it is like this. Due to the, okay, due to the voltages and currents, okay, the transistor is getting heated up. If we can quickly throw the heat to the surrounding, then the transistor will be safe. Otherwise, the heat will accumulate within the transistor, okay, and in simple words, the transistor will get damaged. Okay, there is a theory called as thermal runaway. Okay, there is a theory called as thermal runaway. What happens is, due to, okay, due to the power dissipation, heat is generated. That heat further increases, okay, the power dissipation, right? Because the transistor parameters are affected, and ultimately the transistor is getting damaged. Okay, right? So what happens is, to keep the transistor safe, we need to cool. Okay, see, in your laptops you have fan, isn't it? What is that fan doing? Do you have fan? Can you hear some fan sound inside your laptop? Students, please
Yes,
try to hear. What is that doing? What is
cooling down the heat.
Okay, it is simply throwing the heat away from your laptop. That particular fan is throwing the heat away. What happens if we, so okay, what happens if we don't throw that heat away is, the heat will accumulate, okay, and it will destroy the internal components. Okay, right? That is the reason it is very important that the heat is thrown away. We are using fan. There are other techniques also known as heat sink. Okay, right? So what a heat sink does is, okay, I want another simple question. Okay, now the task is throw away the heat from the transistor. Okay, now the task is to throw away the heat from the transistor to the surrounding. Okay, right? So in order to do that, tell me which case the heat transfer will be more. When the surface area is more, case 1, or surface area is less. We want to see, our target is, we want to throw away the heat as much as possible. Okay, so to throw away the heat, should we have more surface area or less surface area? Please answer. Yes. Okay, another, see, when you are feeling cold, do you shrink your body? Do you pull your body close to your together, or will you expand your body? Just observe yourself. So based on that answer, our target is to throw away the heat. To throw away the heat, okay, okay, the component that throws away the heat is called as heat sink. Should the surface area of the heat sink be less or more? Please answer. When you feel cold, do you shrink yourself or do you expand yourself? Yeah, first answer that. When you're feeling cold, say suppose somebody is feeling cold, do they pull their hands together to their body and, okay, sit, or will they expand their body and sit? Please answer. Do you shrink yourself? Yes or no? Students, fast please.
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So what we are doing is, when we are feeling cold, you don't want the heat in your body to go out. Okay, right? When you are feeling cold, there is already some heat in your body. You don't want that body to, you don't want the heat in your body to go out. So you are shrinking. Now the transistor is getting heated. We want the heat to go out. So we need to expand. Okay. how to expand the surface area of the transistor is by connecting heatsink. Okay, by connecting heatsink, right? Say you have a transistor. These are the different heat sinks. You connect the transistor here, this particular shape or this particular shape or this shape. Okay, what happens is the surface area is more, so the heat transfer will also be more. Okay, so that is the basic idea that we will use when we consider heat sink. Okay, so how to increase the surface area? Okay, how to increase the surface area is on the face, on say transistor has junction, on the junction it has case, onto the case, okay, we will connect the heat sink so that the surface area becomes large. Okay, and what it does is, now the heat sink will actually take the heat from the transistor and it will throw it out to the surrounding. Okay, that is what is a heat sink, right? Now, so far we discussed the okay, thermal resistance, right? But we considered directly from junction to the ambient. Okay, we considered directly from the junction to the ambient, right? However, from junction to ambient, there are paths. Okay, there are paths. I told you. Okay, listen very carefully and please answer. See, the transistor has junction. On the junction, we have case. On the case, we have heat sink. Okay, and that heat sink is exposed to the surrounding or ambient. Okay, condition. Now tell me, the heat transfer will take place from where to where, where to where, where to where? Tell me the individual paths. Students, please answer. So this is like this. Okay, if you are going from Hyderabad to Chennai, then Hyderabad to Warangal, Warangal to Vijayawada, Vijayawada to Chennai. Okay, possible? Something like that. We are now splitting up. We are splitting up. Again, I am repeating. Okay, let us see this heat sink. So what we have transistor, and to the transistor we have case. Okay, and onto the case we are attaching the heat sink. This is heat sink. The shape is like this so that we have more surface area. See, surface area, if you put like this, surface area is more, the heat can be easily thrown out to the surroundings. Okay, right? So this is, we have a transistor case. Onto the case we are fixing this particular heat sink. Now tell me, from where to where, where to where, where to where the heat will travel? Students, please think and answer. So first, junction to case. Okay, right? Then you have case to sink, right? See, junction is connected to case. Transistor junction is connected to transistor case. You have seen transistor in lab, isn't it? Last EDC you have done experiment. Transistor has case. Okay, right? Bipolar junction transistor has steel, right? Case you have seen. So you have case, right? Then to the case, what is attached to the case? Okay, this particular heat sink is attached. So now tell me, what will be the path?
Junction to case, to casing, then from that to heat sink.
Very good. Junction to case to heat sink, then from heat sink to where? Yes, heat sink to
Surroundings.
ambient. Correct answer. Okay, so the path is AC, junction to case, right? Case to heat sink to ambient. Okay, so what we can say is, we can say that the junction to ambient, the path is junction to ambient. Okay, the path is junction to case, right? Case to sink to ambient. Okay, junction to case to sink to ambient. So this is the path, right? Now let us define these terms. Okay, Tj junction temperature, Tc case temperature, Ta ambient temperature, theta Ja total thermal resistance from junction to ambient. Okay, junction to case to sink. Okay, then sink to ambient, right? So based on whatever we have discussed, so what happens is that thermal resistance is simply the addition of the individual thermal resistances. Okay, this one we can represent diagrammatically like this. Power is dissipated in the form of, okay, right, heat, and we have three thermal resistances associated. So we are drawing three resistances, and what are those? Junction to case to sink to ambient. Okay, junction to case to sink to ambient, right? Students, any doubts?
No.
Okay, so then we are, see, from where to where the heat is okay, from where to where the heat is traveling, it is traveling from the ambient to the okay, sorry, it is traveling from the junction to the ambient. Okay, it is traveling from the junction to the ambient. Okay, so the power dissipation we are showing like this. One resistance. Okay, so first this junction to case. See, the travel we are, see, this is just a symbolical explanation, right? This is not a circuit. So the heat transfer takes place from junction to case to sink to ambient. Okay, so this is the ambient temperature. We are calling this as the sink temperature. Okay, case temperature, junction temperature. So what we are actually trying to do is, this mathematical relation we are representing in this form. Okay, fine. So if, okay, this we have seen, theta Ja is theta J minus theta A, sorry, theta Ja is Tj minus Ta by Pd. Okay, theta Ja is Tj minus Ta by Pd. We can cross multiply this. From this, Tj will be theta Ja Pd plus Ta. Okay, try to extract Tj from this, just different mathematical combinations. Okay, now observe this theta Ja expression very carefully. Theta Ja is Tj minus Ta by Pd. What will theta Jc be? Anybody answer? See, theta Ja, you have J here, A here. So theta Jc will be what? Students, what will theta Jc be?
Tc minus Ts by P.
See, again, listen very carefully. Theta Ja is Tj minus Ta. So whatever the J we have here, the first one is here. The second one A is here. So theta JC will be what?
Tj minus Tc by
That's all. So theta JC will be, okay, theta JC will be simply Tj minus Tc by, okay, PD. And then, okay, tell me theta CS. Likewise, what will theta CS be? Theta
Tc minus Ts
Tc minus,
by Pd.
again, your voice was breaking. Please repeat again.
Tc minus Ts by Pd.
Tc minus Ts by PD. Okay, right? So if they ask question on thermal runaway, sorry, I'm sorry. If they ask question on thermal resistance, okay, right? If they ask question on thermal resistance, you can write all this. Okay, you can write all this. You know what is Tj, what is Tc, all this explanation you can write. Okay, then heat sink, we are simply increasing the surface area. Okay, then based on the heat conduction, we are drawing this. Okay, then all this we have discussed, right? All this you can write. This same diagram, this is repeated of this one. Okay, right? So very easy.